In a bustling Seattle street market, Millionaire CEO Noah Carter spots a boy selling handmade bracelets. But one bracelet stops him cold. It's leather-worn and carved with his initials. The boy's green eyes match his own. Could this be his lost son? As memories resurface and guilt takes hold, Noah faces a life-changing question. Will he walk away again or finally fight for family? Subscribe for more emotional stories. The late morning sun slid between the high-rises of Seattle, casting long golden streaks across the rows of colorful vendor tents lining the old Pike Alley Market. Noah Carter adjusted his collar and stepped onto the stone path, the hum of weekend chatter and the scent of roasted nuts and leather greeting him like a memory. He moved differently than the crowd, crisp suit, clean lines, an expensive watch peeking from his cuff. Most vendors didn't notice him. He preferred it that way. Today wasn't about meetings or acquisitions. Today, he was here for something else. Inspiration, maybe. Or distraction. A woman passed by with a laughing toddler tugging at her hand. The sound pulled something in his chest. He turned away quickly, ducking under a tent where glass beads shimmered like rain caught mid-fall. That's when he saw it. On a low table among colorful threads and mismatched clasps sat a small leather bracelet, faded brown, a simple design. But on the edge, two initials burned into the strap, N.C. Noah froze. His fingertips brushed the leather as if touching it would make the past flicker back. He had made one just like this years ago, for her, as a joke at first. She had laughed. He had kissed her, and then she was gone, leaving only silence and one voicemail he could never delete. "You like that one?" a small voice asked. Noah turned. The boy behind the table was no older than 11. Dark, tousled hair streaked from the sun. Sharp green eyes that stopped Noah mid-breath. Eyes like his. The boy reached under the table and pulled out a paper towel-wrapped snack. "You can have it for $5. It's my last one." Noah nodded, stunned, and took a crumpled bill from his wallet. "What's your name?" he asked. "Finn," the boy answered, chewing on the edge of his bread. "You buying it or not?" Noah held the bracelet, his heart suddenly loud in his ears. "Where did you get this? My mom had it. Said someone made it for her. I just found it in her old box." He shrugged, brushing a stray hair from his eyes. "She died last year." Noah blinked hard. "I'm sorry." Finn nodded once. "She liked to make things. Bracelets, pins, dream catchers. I sell 'em now." Noah crouched, keeping his voice soft. "You made these, most of them. She taught me how." He reached for another one, a colorful cord, knotted perfectly small beads woven in. It was crude, but creative, honest. Noah looked up again. "Do you come here every weekend most days?" "Depends if I got stuff to sell." Finn glanced sideways. "You a cop or something?" Noah let out a short laugh. "No, just someone who used to know your mom." Finn tilted his head. "Really?" Noah nodded slowly. "A long time ago." Finn didn't say anything at first, just chewed slower. Then he pulled something from his pocket, a tiny, folded sketch on worn paper. "She used to draw this," he said, opening it carefully. It was a crude drawing of a tall man handing a bracelet to a smiling woman. In the corner, a small boy watched. Noah stared at it. She said the man was good once, but he left. Noah's throat tightened. She said he didn't know, and that maybe one day he'd find out. A breeze tugged at the corner of the sketch, and Noah pressed his hand gently on it to keep it still. He looked at Finn's eyes again, his own eyes staring back. "Would you mind?" he said slowly. "If I bought you lunch?" Finn blinked, then nodded. "Only if I can finish selling the rest." Noah stood, heart pounding. "Deal." As they walked down the aisle side by side, the bracelet in Noah's hand felt heavier than it should have. Like it carried more than just leather and initials. Like it carried the weight of a story unfinished. And this time, he wasn't walking away. They sat on a worn bench just past the edge of the market where the buzz of the crowd faded into quiet. Noah handed Finn a wrapped sandwich from a nearby deli, the kind with warm bread and melting cheese. The boy bit into it like he hadn't eaten all day. Maybe he hadn't. "I like this place," Finn said, mouth full. "Nobody bothers me." Noah nodded slowly, watching a pigeon hop near their feet. "How long have you been coming here since Mom got sick? She used to sell here too. When she passed, I just kept going." Finn wiped his hands on his shorts. "It helps. People buy stuff when you smile." Noah's fingers tightened around the bracelet still in his palm. The leather was worn smooth, the initials NC barely visible, but unmistakable. "She never told me," he said quietly. Finn glanced at him. "Told you what? That she had a son?" A pause. Finn took another bite, chewing slower now. "She said, 'You left before you knew, that's all.'" Noah looked out toward the bay wind, tugging gently at his jacket. "She was right. I didn't know. We lost touch. I searched once, but not hard enough." "You made this, didn't you?" Finn asked, pointing at the bracelet. "I did," Noah admitted. "Years ago. She used to wear it all the time." Finn studied him a second. "Did you love her?" The question landed like a stone. "Did?" Noah answered. "But I was young. Focused on my career. I thought I had more time." Finn looked down. "She always said time runs out faster than people think." Noah nodded, throat tight. "She was right about that, too." The boy pulled something from his backpack, a pencil case covered in stickers. He opened it and revealed a small sketchbook filled with doodles, designs, and shapes. "These are my ideas," he said, flipping to a page with a drawing of a bracelet shaped like tree roots. "This one's called Grounded. Mom said, even when you grow, you need something to hold you steady." Noah's eyes lingered on the page. The design wasn't just creative, it was meaningful, personal. "You've got talent," he said. "Real talent." Finn shrugged. "It's just bracelets." "No," Noah said gently. "It's storytelling. Through design." A voice crackled behind them. "Finn." "That you—" Noah turned as a heavy-set woman with a worn tote bag approached. Her eyes darted from Finn to Noah. "Who's this?" she asked, shielding her tone but not her suspicion. "He bought one of my bracelets," Finn replied quickly. "Just talking." "I'm his neighbor," the woman said, still staring. "Helps watch out since his mom passed." "You a friend of hers?" Noah stood. "We knew each other, years ago." She nodded slowly. "Well, it's a hard world. Lot of folks talk nice, then disappear. I'm not disappearing." Noah said, his voice steady. The woman raised an eyebrow. "We'll see." She nudged Finn. "Come on, time to pack up." Finn closed his sketchbook carefully, then looked at Noah. "Will you come back tomorrow?" Noah hesitated, then smiled. "Absolutely." As they walked away, Finn turned and gave a small wave. Noah raised the bracelet in response. A silent promise. He walked back to his car, heart pounding harder than it had in years. The city noise felt distant now. The sketchbook, the initials, the boy's eyes. He wasn't guessing anymore. This was his son. Inside the car, Noah pulled out his phone, tapped his assistant's number. "Ava," he said, "I need a private investigator, someone discreet. I need records, health, school, family, everything on a boy named Finn." A pause. "And I want a doctor waiting. Today." He ended the call and looked out the windshield where kids played in a splash fountain across the street. Finn's words echoed. "Time runs out faster than people think." The bracelet rested on the seat beside him, its leather warm from the sun. He reached over and held it tight. For the first time in years, Noah Carter wasn't chasing fashion. He was chasing family. The next morning, clouds hung low over Seattle, softening the sun into a pale blur. Noah stood under a metal awning beside a small health clinic near the docks, watching the raindrops gather in his coat sleeves. His driver waited nearby. Finn was inside. The boy had agreed to come after some convincing. "Just a checkup," Noah had said. "My doctor's great. No needles unless you ask." Finn had rolled his eyes but climbed into the car anyway, sketchbook in hand. Now, Noah sat across from him in the waiting room. The walls were pale blue, lined with brochures no one read. Finn bounced his sneaker rhythmically against the floor. "You think they'll say I'm broken?" he asked, not looking up. Noah shook his head. "They'll say you're strong." Finn snorted. "That's what people say when you're really not." A nurse called his name, and the boy slid off the chair, pulling his sleeves down. Noah stood too. "I'll wait right here." After the door closed, he ran his hand through his hair, pacing near the windows. His phone buzzed. A message from Ava. Found the record. Finn's mother, Grace Linton, passed 11 months ago. No father listed. Child's never been enrolled in school. Has no official guardian. Looks like he's been on his own. Noah gripped the phone tighter. When Finn returned 30 minutes later, he looked tired but relieved. "They gave me a granola bar. Said I'm healthy. Just short." Noah smiled. "You'll grow. You've got time." They got back in the car. Finn leaned his head against the window, watching raindrops race. "So what now? You gonna disappear like everyone else?" Noah turned. "No, I want to help. For real." Finn sat up straighter. "Why?" "You don't know me." "I think I do," Noah said quietly. "Your mom and we had something. I didn't know about you. I wish I had." Finn didn't speak right away. Then she had a photo. It was old, kind of faded. Of her and some guy with green eyes. She kept it in a music box. "Does she still have it?" Finn shook his head. "I lost it when we moved. We lost a lot." Noah felt the weight of those words settle into the silence. "Come with me. Just for a little while. You'll have food, a bed space to draw. No strings." Finn looked at him carefully. "You mean stay at your place?" "Yes." The boy hesitated. "Do you even have crayons?" Noah chuckled. "I can get 1,000. Finn smirked. Then, maybe. Back at Noah's waterfront condo, glass walls looked out over the bay. The space was clean, almost too clean. Cold in a way he hadn't noticed before. Finn stepped inside, slowly clutching his backpack. "This is big," he muttered. "Is this all yours?" "Yeah," Noah replied. "But it's quiet. Too quiet." Finn wandered toward the kitchen island, his eyes landing on a sketch pad Noah had left there, a gift from earlier that morning. Beside it, a new set of markers and leather crafting tools. "I didn't know what kind you liked," Noah said. "We can get more." Finn ran a hand along the sketch pad cover. "This is nice." Then from his bag he pulled out a piece of knotted cord, his own bracelet design. He placed it on the counter right next to the leather one with Noah's initials. "One's old," he said. "One's new. Maybe they belong together." Noah stared at them both. "That's your call, isn't it?" Finn asked, voice low. Before Noah could answer, his phone buzzed again. This time the caller ID flashed a name he hadn't seen in years. Natalie West, Grace's best friend. He stepped away to answer. Her voice came fast. "Noah, I heard you found him. Listen, Child Services is already looking into his case. Someone tipped them off. If they find out he's with you and you're not listed as a guardian, they could take him." Noah's voice dropped. "He's my son." "Then prove it," she said. "Or they'll send him to a shelter." Noah looked across the room at Finn, now curled in a chair, drawing in silence. The bracelet, the sketchbook, the chance he thought he'd never get. Time was running out. Rain tapped softly against the condo's glass windows that night as Noah stood in the hallway staring at the closed door to the guest room. Finn had gone quiet after dinner, curling up with his sketchbook like it was armor. Noah held his phone in one hand, a single message on screen. DNA test arranged. Results in 48 hours. His chest tightened. 48 hours suddenly felt like a lifetime. He knocked gently. "Finn." No answer. He turned the handle slowly. Inside, the boy was curled up on the bed, the sketchbook open beside him, filled with thick black pencil strokes. The drawing showed a tall man, one arm reaching down to a smaller figure, bracelet in hand. Noah stepped in. "Can I see?" Finn shrugged. "You're already looking." Noah sat on the edge of the bed. "You're talented." Finn didn't meet his eyes. "I draw when I don't know what to say." Noah glanced again at the page. The tall figure's face looked tired. Guilty. Real. "I think I've spent years trying to say sorry," Noah whispered. "To your mom. To you, even when I didn't know I should." Finn stared at the ceiling. "She never blamed you." Noah blinked. "She didn't. She said people make mistakes when they're scared. That you weren't ready." His voice cracked just slightly. Noah cleared his throat. "She sounds like she was kind." "She was everything." Finn turned his head away. "She got sick fast. I couldn't stop it." Noah reached into his coat pocket and pulled out the bracelet. The leather one, his initials barely visible. "I made this for her. I thought she kept it." "She did," Finn said, "till the day she couldn't hold anything anymore." Noah looked at him. "Finn, if this test says you're mine, everything changes." Finn turned slowly. "And if it doesn't?" The question sat between them heavy. "Then I'll still be here," Noah said. "I won't leave. I want to be part of your life." Finn nodded once. "I don't care about tests. I just want someone who stays." The words hit Noah harder than he expected. That night, he barely slept. He stood at the balcony window staring out over the rain-slick streets of Seattle. Inside Finn's bracelet, the one he made with tree roots, rested beside Noah's phone. The two bands lying side by side like bookends to a story only half written. By morning, the mood had shifted. Finn sat at the kitchen counter hunched over a bowl of cereal. He had taken to the condo faster than Noah expected, exploring its corners, discovering the art tablet Noah had ordered the night before. Still something clung to him. Doubt, maybe. "Can we go somewhere today?" Finn asked, spoon clinking. "Sure." Where Finn thought for a moment. Somewhere normal, not shiny. They ended up at Calhoun Park, a quiet patch of green near the docks. Finn kicked off his shoes, ran through the wet grass, and spun in circles until he collapsed, laughing. For the first time, Noah saw him as a kid, not a survivor, not a street vendor, just a boy. They sat on a bench, damp from the rain, watching ducks float by in the pond. "I used to come here with Mom," Finn said. "We'd bring bread. Sometimes we'd just talk." Noah glanced at him. "What did you talk about dreams?" "She wanted me to go to art school. She said I had her hands." Noah smiled faintly. She wasn't wrong. Then Finn reached into his backpack and pulled out something wrapped in cloth. A tiny music box. "It still works," he said, winding it. The delicate notes drifted out familiar and fragile. Inside, instead of a dancer, a tiny brass bracelet twirled slowly on a post. Noah froze. "She kept this in her closet," Finn whispered. "Said it was the first gift you gave her." The melody filled the silence. And Noah understood this was the symbol, the music box. A keepsake from a life he thought lost. A memory Finn had carried without knowing what it meant. Now it meant everything. But peace didn't last. As they walked back toward the car, a black sedan pulled up fast. A man in a gray suit stepped out, flashing a badge. "Noah Carter?" he asked. "I'm from Child Protective Services. We've received a report of an unsupervised minor under your custody." Noah stepped protectively in front of Finn. "He's my son. Until you prove that," the man replied, "he comes with us." Finn's fingers tightened around Noah's hand. His voice shook. "Please, don't let them take me." The CPS officer's voice was calm but cold. "Sir, until legal guardianship is confirmed, we have no choice. The child must come with us." Noah stepped closer, one hand shielding Finn, whose fingers clutched his coat tightly. "You're making a mistake. I have a DNA test pending. The results will confirm everything." The officer didn't blink. "Pending is not confirmed. You'll have to go through family court." Finn's voice trembled. "I don't want to go. Please." Noah crouched beside him. "I promise this isn't the end. I'm not going anywhere." Tears welled in the boy's eyes. "That's what they always say." Noah pressed the music box into Finn's hands. "Keep this with you. It plays the song I gave your mom. When it stops, just wind it again. I'll be back before it fades." The officer reached out. Finn hesitated, then finally released Noah's hand. Noah stood frozen as the black sedan pulled away, the boy's face pressed to the window, eyes never leaving his. Back at the condo, silence stretched into hours. Noah's assistant, Ava, arrived with documents. "We've expedited the court process," she said, "but you'll need to show proof of intent, housing stability, legal effort." "I'll do all of it," Noah said, pacing. "Whatever it takes. And, Noah," she added gently, "you'll need to face your company too. Press is catching wind of this." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. Let them talk. That night he sat at the dining table alone, Bracelet on the table, the empty sketchbook beside it. On impulse, he opened it. One page had been torn out, the last drawing Finn had made before the park. It showed a music box turning slowly, the little bracelet inside glowing like a sun. Underneath, in block letters, "Don't stop playing." Noah's eyes burned. He reached for his phone. "Get me the best custody lawyer in Seattle. Tonight." The next morning was a blur of paperwork. Signatures, declarations. Noah gave a sworn statement, submitted the pending DNA test, and listed every material provision: housing, education, health care. But none of that quieted the ache. By noon, he stood in front of a brick building on the edge of Rainier Avenue, a foster center, stark, sterile. A worker met him at the door. "Finn's adjusting," she said. "He hasn't spoken much." "I just want to see him," Noah said. She nodded. 5 minutes. Finn sat in a small room filled with puzzles and outdated posters. His hoodie swallowed him. The music box sat on the table, clutched tight in both hands. When he looked up, his eyes were red but dry. "You came," he said quietly. "I told you I would." Finn tilted the box toward him. It stopped. Noah reached out gently, turned the small metal key. The tune began again, faint but clear. "I'm doing everything I can," Noah said. "Lawyers, judges. I even called your mom's old friend Natalie. She's willing to testify." Finn gave a weak smile. "She used to bring soup when Mom was sick. Natalie's good people." Noah nodded. "We're building something. A case, but, more than that, a life." The worker stepped back into the doorway. "Time's up." Noah stood slowly. "I'll be back. For good this time." As he left, the faint music trailed after him. Back at the office, chaos waited. Reporters' emails, investors asking questions. Noah ignored them all. Instead, he went to the design lab, the quiet floor where his team created prototypes. He stared at a blank screen for a long moment, then opened a new file. He began sketching. A bracelet, leather band, adjustable fit, tiny music box charm at the center. On the underside, a simple engraving, "Don't stop playing." By sunset, he emailed the blueprint to Ava. "Make 100 samples. Call it the Finn edition." The reply came fast. "We'll need a story behind it." He typed back, "You'll have it. In court." The next morning, Noah stood outside Grace's old apartment building, a modest 3-story on the city's east side. The bricks were faded, the steps chipped. The place looked tired, like it had been holding its breath since she passed. Natalie opened the door before he could knock. Her expression was cautious but not unkind. "You've got 5 minutes," she said. "I'm not here to play lawyer. I'm not asking you to," Noah replied. "I just need the truth. For Finn." They sat across from each other in the small living room. A framed photo of Grace and a much younger Finn sat on the table between them. Grace's smile still lingered in the room somehow. "She never told me she was sick," Noah said softly. "She didn't tell anyone," Natalie replied. That was Grace, always protecting people even when she was the one drowning. He leaned forward. "Why didn't she tell me about Finn?" Natalie hesitated, then sighed. "Because you left. She said you were chasing something bigger and she didn't want to be the reason you turned back." "I would have stayed," Noah whispered. She believed that too, but she didn't want to make you choose. Noah looked at the photo again. She deserved better. She made peace with her choices, Natalie said gently. But Finn, he needs more than peace now. He needs roots, real ones. I want to give him that. Natalie stood and crossed the room, returning with a slim folder. Then, take this. Her medical papers, letters, even a birth record. She never listed a father, but she kept everything. Maybe part of her hoped you'd come back. He opened the folder, eyes scanning the worn documents. At the bottom, a small drawing slipped out childlike simple. It showed a house, crooked and cozy, with 2 stick figures out front, a tall one labeled Dad, and a smaller one, Me. In the corner, a son wearing a smile. Noah stared at it. He drew this last winter, after she passed. He folded the paper carefully, slipping it into his coat. Thank you, Natalie, for everything. Back at the condo, Noah placed the drawing beside Finn's bracelet on the mantel. 2 symbols. One from the past, one for the future. The next day, court came. Noah stood in a wood-paneled room under buzzing lights, his lawyer beside him. Across the aisle sat a CPS representative. Finn wasn't present, but Noah felt his absence like a weight. Your Honor, his attorney began. We're submitting DNA results confirming Mr. Carter as the biological father. Additionally, we have medical records, financial affidavits, and character references, including testimony from Grace Linton's closest friend. The judge, a stern woman in her 50s, nodded. Mr. Carter, I've reviewed your documents. But I have one question. Why now? Noah stepped forward. Because I didn't know. And once I did, I didn't hesitate. The judge leaned back. Children need consistency, not guilt-driven gestures. This isn't guilt, Noah said. Voice steady. It's love. It's purpose. It's every morning forward. I'm not walking away again. There was silence. Then the judge tapped her pen. I will rule on temporary custody this week. Final decision, pending follow-up evaluations. As Noah left the courtroom, Ava met him in the hallway. The press is outside. Let them wait, he said. I'm going to see my son. Later that afternoon, he returned to the foster center. This time, Finn was already waiting by the door, music box in hand. They said you came to court, Finn said as they walked. I did. I told them who you are. And who's that? Noah stopped. You're my son. Finn blinked. Even if the court says I'm not, especially then. Finn looked down, opened the music box, and let the tune rise between them. Good, he said. Because I started a new bracelet. I want you to finish it. Noah smiled, heart full. Let's finish it together. The rain had stopped by the time Noah and Finn stepped into the condo again. The air inside smelled faintly of coffee and cedarwood. Noah dropped his keys on the counter. Finn wandered toward the studio nook, eyes landing on the bracelet designs spread across the table. These yours? He asked. Some of them, Noah replied. But this one, he held up the leather band with the miniature music box charm. This one's inspired by you. Finn took it carefully, turning it in his hands. It's good. Real clean. I call it the Finn edition. The boy blinked, unsure if he heard right. You named it after me, I did, Noah said, crouching to his level. Because you reminded me what matters. Finn smiled, small but real. Can I help make the next one? Noah grinned. We'll design it together. The next few days moved fast. The studio buzzed with life. Noah cleared his calendar. Finn took over the corner by the window, sketching between bites of cereal, asking questions about materials, tools, and colors. One afternoon, he held up a new design woven cord in cool tones, a small heart pressed into the clasp. I call it Anchor, he said, because I feel steadier now. Noah felt something tighten in his chest. It's perfect. They added it to the lineup. But outside their bubble, things weren't calm. The custody judge had called for a second evaluation, this time in home. CPS would visit in 2 days. Everything needed to feel like a stable, welcoming home. Noah brought in a child therapist, ordered new bedding, turned the guest room into a permanent space, Finn's space. Still, worry lingered. That night, Finn came to the doorway holding his music box. "Can I sleep out here?" he asked. "Just tonight." Noah nodded. Of course. They curled up on opposite ends of the sofa, the soft tune spinning between them. Finn rested his head on a pillow and whispered, "She would have liked you." Noah looked over. "I wish I could have told her I didn't stop caring." Finn closed his eyes. She knew. The next morning they made pancakes together, burned the first batch, laughed through the second. Just as they finished eating, Ava called, "Noah, thought you'd want to know. The bracelet launch just went viral. The backstory. People are moved." "I didn't plan it that way," he said, "but I'm glad it's out there. You should read the comments," Ava added. "They're calling it the bracelet that plays forgiveness." Finn overheard. "Can I read them too later?" Noah said, ruffling his hair. "After we clean up." By evening, the condo was spotless. Finn's art lined the hallway. The kitchen gleamed. A small pot of fresh mint, his mother's favorite, sat by the window. Then came the knock. The CPS worker from before stepped inside. She scanned the space with trained eyes. Finn stood beside Noah, chin up but nervous. "We'll begin with a few questions," she said, flipping open her folder. "Finn, how do you feel living here?" Finn looked up at Noah, then back. "Safe. Like someone actually sees me." The woman nodded. "And do you feel heard?" He pointed to the bracelet sketch on the table. "That's my design. He's helping me make it real." She turned to Noah. "What do you believe makes you ready for full custody?" He kept his tone calm. "I was late getting here, but now that I am, I'm not leaving. He's not just my son, he's my reason." The worker took notes. Then, after a pause, she smiled faintly. "Final decision will be issued by week's end. Until then, keep doing what you're doing." After she left, Finn looked up, brow furrowed. "Did we pass?" Noah knelt beside him. "We're not being tested. We're being trusted." Finn nodded slowly, then reached for his music box and wound it again. The tune filled the space, gentle, steady. "I think she hears it too," he whispered. Noah's voice cracked. "I think so too, buddy." And they let the music carry them into night. The next morning, Noah stood in the kitchen, hands wrapped around a mug of black coffee. Outside, the Seattle skyline was wrapped in mist, the harbor barely visible. Finn shuffled in hair a mess, dragging a blanket over his shoulders. "You okay?" Noah asked. Finn shrugged. "Had a weird dream." "Want to talk about it?" Finn slid onto a stool. "You left. Said it was a mistake. I couldn't find the music box." Noah set the mug down. "That won't happen. I'm not leaving. And the music box is right here," he said, tapping the pocket of his hoodie where the small brass box rested, still wound from last night. Finn gave a small smile, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Later that afternoon, Noah took him to the company's downtown office. "Just for a bit," he promised. "I want you to see where your bracelet's going." The lobby bustled with energy. Designers, assistants, a photographer setting up a backdrop. Finn held tighter to Noah's hand. "Are we allowed?" "You're more than allowed," Noah said. "You're why we're here." In the design suite, Ava greeted them with a warm smile. "Hey, Finn, we've got something to show you." She led him to a glass case. Inside, the final prototype of the Finn edition bracelet. A sleek box sat open beside it. On the inside lid, embossed in silver. "To the boy who reminded us not to stop playing." Finn blinked hard. "That's me. That's you," Noah said. "Every bracelet sold will support youth art programs. In your name." Finn looked down. "But I just make stuff. I don't know anything fancy." Noah crouched. "You make hope, Finn, and right now that's what the world needs." They spent the next hour sketching ideas with the team. Finn leaned into it, offering suggestions, even critiquing one of Noah's older designs. "Too stiff," he said. "Bracelets should feel alive." Everyone laughed. Noah laughed hardest. But back home, the energy shifted. Finn sat on the floor of his room, the new bracelet tools untouched. His fingers fidgeted with the edge of his blanket. "You've been quiet," Noah said from the doorway. Finn looked up. Do I really belong here? What makes you ask that? I don't know, he mumbled. Your life's perfect. Mine's messy. Noah stepped inside. You think my life's perfect? You're rich. You got people. This big condo. You weren't sleeping in a shelter. Noah sat beside him. I had money, but I didn't have you, and that made everything feel empty. Finn picked up a scrap of leather and began twisting it without thinking. Mom said you were driven, that it scared her. Noah nodded slowly. I was. I let ambition drown everything else. That's on me. Finn glanced at him. So what if I don't want to be like that? Then don't be, Noah said. Be better. Be you. Finn's hands stopped moving. But what if I'm too different? What if I never fit in with your world? Noah reached into his pocket and pulled out the music box again. He set it beside the half-finished bracelet. This isn't about fitting into my world. It's about building ours. Finn looked at the two items side by side, the old memory and the new design. Something clicked. He picked up the bracelet cord and nodded. Then let's make this one simple. No logo, just honest. Noah smiled. Simple and honest. I like that. But that night an envelope arrived at the door, official thick, stamped with the county seal. Inside was the court's preliminary ruling. Noah opened it slowly, scanning the text. His face hardened. Finn watched from the hallway. What does it say? Noah exhaled. They approved custody, but... There's a complication. Finn stepped forward. What kind? Noah turned. They want to evaluate your adjustment every 90 days, and a family liaison will be assigned to live check-ins. Finn's shoulders sank. So they still don't trust us. Noah shook his head. They just don't know us yet. Finn folded his arms. Then let's show them. And in the corner on his desk, the music box played again, soft but defiant. By the time Friday rolled around, the condo felt different. Not just cleaner or better organized, warmer, lived in. Finn's art was taped to the walls, his bracelets laid across a small shelf, a new sketch drying beside the toaster. Was stood in the kitchen flipping pancakes while Finn hovered nearby, organizing beads into tiny color piles. Big day today, Noah said, sliding a plate toward him. Why, Finn asked through a mouthful of syrup. I enrolled you in a weekend art class. Just 2 hours, but they've got real teachers, studio space, and other kids who love what you love. Finn stopped chewing. Do I have to talk to them? Noah grinned. Only if they talk to you first. At noon, they walked into a brick building lined with sunlit windows. Inside, the art room buzzed with quiet creativity. Kids painted, sculpted, some even worked with digital tablets. Finn clung to Noah's side until a woman with silver-streaked hair approached. You must be Finn, she said, kneeling to eye level. I'm Miss Harper. Want to see what everyone's making? Finn glanced up at Noah, who nodded. I'll be right here when class ends. The boy followed slowly, gripping the strap of his bag. Noah watched from the hallway, nervous but proud. Back at the condo, Noah opened his laptop and reviewed emails. One subject line froze him, from CPS liaison, urgent adjustment notes, and upcoming evaluation. He clicked. Mr. Carter, please be aware that while initial bonding appears strong, our field notes express concern over long-term compatibility. Due to Mr. Carter's upscale lifestyle and Finn's limited structure-to-date, reintegration risks remain. Please prepare for formal review in 30 days. Noah leaned back, jaw tight. He hadn't just opened his home, he'd opened his heart. An hour later, the door opened and Finn walked in, face flushed. I made something, he said, holding up a simple clay circle with a leather strand embedded in it. On the clay, etched with a toothpick, were 2 letters, NC. Is that my name? Noah asked, stunned. Yeah, Finn said, setting it down gently. I told them I wanted to make a seal, something that proves something's real. Noah crouched beside him. And is it? Finn nodded. You're real. Noah picked up the clay symbol, eyes burning. So are you. Later that evening, the phone rang again. This time it was Ava. Big news, she said. Bracelet pre-orders just passed 50,000. We're getting press requests. National outlets. Noah exhaled. That fast. People love the story. More than the product. They feel it. He turned toward Finn, who was humming while drawing by the window. I'll give them more than a story, Noah said. We'll give them a mission. That night, they sat side by side on the couch. Finn held the music box in one hand, the clay medallion in the other. Can I ask something, he said. Anything. If I ever mess up? Like really mess up, will you still want me? Noah reached out, resting a hand on his shoulder. I don't want you because you're perfect. I want you because you're mine. Finn didn't respond right away. Then, slowly, he opened the music box, letting the familiar melody rise again. He whispered, I'm glad you heard it. The music played on, steady and sure, just like them. A week later, the condo felt more like home, but not without its growing pains. Finn sat cross-legged in the corner of his new room, arms folded, eyes fixed on a torn bracelet cord. I messed it up, he muttered. Noah stood at the doorway, arms crossed, watching. It's just a knot. We can fix it. Finn shook his head. That's the third one today. Then you're learning. No, Finn snapped, voice rising. I'm failing. You don't get it. Noah paused, then walked in and knelt beside him. Tell me. Finn's jaw clenched. This place, it's clean. Fancy. You wear suits. Your team claps when you talk. I don't belong here. I don't even know how to talk to your friends. Noah sat back on his heels, quiet for a moment. You think I always felt like I belonged? Finn looked up, surprised. I built this world to hide from what I lost. Noah continued. You're not the outsider here, Finn. You're the reason it finally feels real. Finn stared at him, uncertain. Then why do I feel like I'm always going to mess it up? Noah glanced at the torn bracelet on the floor. Because he picked it up gently. This is part of making something strong. It breaks. You fix it. And it holds better next time. Finn didn't reply, but his shoulders loosened. Later that evening, they hosted a small dinner, Noah's idea. A few people from the design team, Ava, and one of the art instructors from Finn's class. Nothing fancy, just pasta, garlic bread, and lemonade in mason jars. Finn sat at the far end of the table, quiet, head low. When someone asked about the Finn edition bracelet, he spoke up without looking up. I just drew the first version. He's the one who made it real. Noah caught the shift in tone. Not anger, doubt. After the guests left, Noah found Finn alone in his room, holding the music box. You okay? Finn nodded. I don't want people thinking I'm some story you made up. Noah sat beside him. They don't. Then why do they talk about the bracelet more than me? Because that bracelet carries a piece of you, but you're more than one product. Finn turned the music box key, letting the melody fill the silence. Then he whispered, Sometimes I miss the market. It was noisy, messy, but it was mine. Noah leaned forward. You don't have to give that up. We can build something new. Something that keeps who you are. Finn looked over. Like, what a space. For kids like you, to make, to sell, to be seen. What if we started it together? Finn's eyes widened, like a booth. No, Noah smiled, like a whole program. The boy thought for a long moment. Can we call it the knot? Noah blinked. Why? Finn held up the broken bracelet. Because sometimes things fall apart. But if you tie them right, they come back stronger. Noah felt his throat tighten. Yeah, we'll call it that. That night, while Finn slept, Noah stood at the kitchen counter sketching plans on a napkin. A pop-up market, a design mentorship, workshops with real artists. At the bottom, he wrote in block letters, The Knot, Build, Break, Bind. The symbol resting beside him, the music box played its soft tune as if in agreement. But just as the night calmed, his phone buzzed again. A new message from the liaison update anonymous concern filed, child not emotionally stable in current environment. Site visit to be scheduled. Noah's hand clenched around the phone. Outside, the city lights shimmered. Inside, the boy who had taught him how to live again was dreaming beside a bracelet and a melody. And this time, Noah was ready to fight for both. The morning after the liaison's message, Noah barely touched his coffee. He watched Finn, who was humming quietly while sketching at the table, unaware of the storm brewing behind the scenes. Noah cleared his throat. "Hey, bud, how would you feel about us making something today?" Finn looked up. "Like a bracelet," Noah said, walking over with a soft smile. "Something different. Something we make together with our hands." Finn tilted his head. "Like what?" "A memory." They spent the next few hours at the kitchen counter rolling out clay stringing leather and carving initials into beads. Finn picked red and charcoal gray for his band. Noah chose navy and silver. When they finished, Noah held both in his palm. "Now we match. A team." Finn reached out slowly, tying his onto Noah's wrist. "Look what I made Dad." Noah froze. He didn't correct him, didn't blink, just smiled and whispered, "It's perfect." Later that afternoon, as clouds crept over the bay, the doorbell rang. Finn opened it before Noah could get there. On the other side stood the CPS liaison, same woman from before, but this time with another woman beside her, someone new. Clipboard in hand, sharp eyes. "Hello, again," the liaison said politely. "We're here for an unscheduled home observation." Noah stepped forward. "You didn't say it would be today." "We were advised not to," the new woman said flatly. "It ensures authenticity." Finn stepped behind Noah, fidgeting with his bracelet. The liaison softened. "It won't take long." They walked through the condo living room, Finn's room kitchen. The new woman asked questions with precision. "Where does Finn sleep?" "Right here," Noah said, pointing to the fully personalized room filled with art supplies and hand-labeled drawers. "How often does he attend structured activities art classes every weekend?" "And he sketches daily," Noah replied. "Any signs of emotional distress?" Finn answered this time. "Only when people make me feel like I'm temporary." The woman paused. In the living room, she examined the sketch pad on the coffee table. A half-finished image of two bracelets twined together, one large, one small. Same pattern. "What does this mean?" she asked. Finn stepped up. "That's me and him. Doesn't matter how different we are. We hold." The woman wrote something down. Before leaving, she turned once more. "We'll be submitting our notes. Expect a follow-up." As the door shut, Noah exhaled slowly. Finn turned to him. "That was bad, huh?" "No," Noah said. "That was real." 2 nights later, Noah hosted the first design session for the Knot. The community room buzzed with Energy Street Kids foster youth art mentors, local designers. Finn stood at the front, nervous but proud. "Hi," he said into the mic. "I'm Finn. This whole thing started because I used to make bracelets on the sidewalk. I didn't know it would lead here." He held up one of his latest pieces, 2 knots joined at the center. "This is called Second Chance. Because sometimes what's broken still has value. You just need someone to see it." The room fell quiet. Then applause. Later, back at home, Noah tucked Finn into bed. "Did you mean what you said?" he asked gently. "About second chances?" Finn nodded. "I used to think only people with perfect lives got them, but maybe second chances are for people like us." Noah leaned down and kissed the top of his head. "They are." He turned off the light, but before closing the door, Finn called out, "Hey, Dad." "Yeah, tomorrow. Can we make one with her name on it?" Noah paused, heart thudding. "You mean your mom?" Finn nodded. "She deserves one too." Noah smiled. "We'll make the first one in gold." And as he walked out, the music box started playing from Finn's nightstand. Soft, steady, like a promise kept. By Tuesday morning, the bracelet called Second Chance was trending online. Influencers wore it. Teachers requested classroom kits, but Noah barely noticed. His focus stayed on Finn, especially after the liaison's unexpected visit. Finn didn't say much, but his questions came in strange ways. "Do you think the court people liked our apartment?" "Why do some people think art isn't a real job?" "What if I can't make another good bracelet?" Noah answered each gently, even when it hurt. "You're more than your last design," he said one night, tucking Finn in. "You're you, and that's enough." Still, something gnawed at Finn. His smile dimmed. His drawings got darker, less color, more shadows. The music box stayed closed. Noah called Natalie. "He's pulling back," he said. Not angry, just guarded. Natalie didn't hesitate. "He's waiting for something to go wrong." That's what happens when survival feels normal. Noah hung up, walked straight to Finn's room, and knocked. The boy was on the floor, hands deep in a bead tray. Brows furrowed. "Hey, Noah," said softly. "Want to take a break?" Finn glanced up. "I'm making Mom's bracelet." Noah crouched beside him. "What's it look like?" Finn held up a strand of soft gold cord, tiny silver beads in even spacing. At the center, a hand-shaped charm. "She used to hold my hand until I fell asleep," he whispered. "Even when she was sick." Noah's chest tightened. "That's beautiful, Finn. I want it to feel like her. It already does." The next day, news broke. A gossip blog leaked that Noah Carter, CEO of Carterform, had gained custody of a child found selling crafts on the street. The post included an old photo of Finn's market stand and a blurry picture of the boy in Noah's car. Within hours, headlines exploded. From market to Millionaire's penthouse, the bracelet boy story. Noah's PR team called non-stop. Ava, breathless, met him in the hallway. "Noah, we need to respond. People are calling this exploitation. Some are questioning paternity even with the DNA test." He slammed the door behind them. "Then let's stop hiding." That night he sat across from Finn at the dinner table holding 2 microphones. "Ever seen a live stream before?" Noah asked. Finn shrugged. "Only when people play games. Well, this one's for us." They went live. No filters, no scripts. Noah introduced himself, then turned the mic to Finn. "I used to sell bracelets near Pike Alley," the boy said. "My mom made them before me. She died, but she taught me to tell stories through knots. Now I live with Noah. He found me. He saw me." Noah added, "And the world deserves to hear the truth not from blogs but from us." They told the full story. Grace, the music box, the bracelet with NC, the foster center, the hearing, the second chances. When the stream ended, Noah closed his laptop and turned to Finn. "Whatever happens next," he said, "we told it together." Finn nodded, then reached into his pocket and placed the gold bracelet on the table. "I finished it," he whispered. Mom's bracelet. The next morning, something shifted. Instead of reporters at the lobby, there were letters, emails, donations, teachers, single moms, homeless shelters, kids writing from foster homes. One girl wrote, "I never knew someone like me could belong in a story that ends well." Noah printed that one, taped it beside Finn's art wall. But later that day, a knock came again. A man in a dark suit. From the state board. "I'm here for a final evaluation," he said, "and I've seen the live stream." Noah's heart pounded. Good or bad? The man looked past him into the living room where Finn sat beside his clay seal bracelet box and music playing low. I'd say honest. And sometimes that was more powerful than perfect. By Friday morning, Noah stood at the edge of a small indoor auditorium, heart pounding as stagehands adjusted lights. Finn sat backstage beside him, bouncing his knee, twisting the new gold bracelet between his fingers. "You nervous?" Noah asked. Finn exhaled. A little. "What if they don't care?" "They will," Noah said, adjusting the boy's collar. "You're not just showing them a bracelet. You're showing them your story. This wasn't just any event. It was the launch of the Knot Foundation, now officially backed by Carter Form, a national initiative for homeless youth and foster kids to learn design business and storytelling. And Finn, he was its face. Noah gave the opening remarks but kept it brief. The bracelet you wear today, he said into the mic, was born on a sidewalk in Seattle, made by a boy who didn't know his father was still looking for him. Today, we honor him and every child whose creativity was almost lost to silence. Applause rose as he stepped aside. Finn walked up slowly, gripping the mic with two hands. His voice cracked at first. I didn't always know I was good at anything he said, but I knew how to tie knots. I used to sell bracelets to buy lunch. One day, a man bought one, and it turned out he was my dad. He held up the gold bracelet. This is the one I made for my mom. She passed last year. She held my hand every night. So I made this with a tiny hand charm. It reminds me. I was always loved. Silence. Then thunderous applause. Backstage, Finn dropped into a chair, cheeks flushed. You crushed it, Noah said, kneeling. Finn leaned into his shoulder. I was scared. Noah smiled. Being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means showing up anyway. Later that day, they returned home to find a letter on the counter, official embossed. Finn hovered behind as Noah opened it. His eyes scanned fast, then stopped. What's it say? Finn asked. Noah turned eyes misty. It's done. Final custody granted. No more visits, no more reviews. Finn blinked. For real, Noah said. You're mine. The boy launched forward, arms around his waist music box in his hand. It played this morning, Finn whispered. I think she knew. That night, Noah found Finn asleep on the couch music box resting beside the gold bracelet. On the coffee table sat a fresh drawing, a big open market, a tent that said the Knot, and dozens of kids making bracelets. At the center, a tall man and a boy, hands raised together. The symbol of redemption wasn't the bracelet. It was them. 3 months later, the scent of fresh paint and pine filled the air as Noah and Finn stepped into the old warehouse they'd transformed. Colorful booths lined the space. Handmade signs hung from the ceiling. Dozens of kids, ages 7 to 16, were weaving bracelets, sketching designs, and laughing over string tangles. It was the grand opening of the Knot Market. Finn wore his now famous gold bracelet. Around his neck, a small silver pendant shaped like the music box that started it all. He glanced around, beaming. Dad, he said, tugging Noah's sleeve, look what they made. A group of younger kids held up a giant sign painted with crooked letters and bold colors, We don't break, we tie together. Noah swallowed hard. That's the best slogan I've ever seen. Reporters moved quietly through the space taking photos. But there were no spotlights, no stages, just stories being made at every table. One little girl ran up to Finn. Can you teach me how to do the loop knot? Finn knelt beside her. Of course. You loop it like a hug. Then you pull it tight like you mean it. Noah smiled, watching the boy he used to find sleeping on sidewalk blankets now teaching others how to build something from their own hands. Ava approached, clipboard in hand. Every booth's full. Donations are pouring in. We might need to open another space. We will, Noah said. In every major city, if we can. Outside, a mural covered the side wall. It showed a boy holding a bracelet up to the sky. Beside him, a tall man knelt with an open music box. The background shimmered with knots, hearts, and stars. Finn had helped paint it himself. Later that afternoon, as the sun dipped low, Noah and Finn sat on the roof of the building, legs dangling over the edge. Finn held up a leather strip. We never made one for us, just us. Noah leaned back, hands behind his head. What would it look like, mixed chord Finn said, like all the different pieces of us, you and me, Mom, the past, the market, the future, and the charm, Finn smiled. A knot, just one, but tied tight. They crafted it right there, fingers moving with practiced ease. The city glowed beneath them. A warm breeze rustled the fabric banner below that read The Knot Foundation, created by Finn and Noah. Finn handed the finished bracelet over. You tie it. Noah looped it around his wrist, his voice low. I've waited my whole life to wear this. Finn rested his head on Noah's shoulder. Do you think she'd be proud? Noah looked out over the market below. She's watching every second. Just then, a soft chime echoed from Noah's phone. A video had gone live, The Bracelet Boy's Journey, a short documentary made by a film student who'd volunteered. Within minutes, comments poured in. I cried at the music box scene. My son asked me to make a bracelet with him after watching. We need more stories like this. Finn scrolled through them, eyes wide. People really get it. They get you, Noah said, and now they'll never forget. As night fell, the last booth packed up, but one bracelet remained looped carefully around the base of the mural wall. It was the first bracelet Finn ever sold. Someone had found it, re-knotted it, and left it behind with a note tucked underneath for the boy who turned knots into hope. Noah placed a hand on Finn's shoulder, and together they stood father and son, not broken, but bound. Forever tied.